My name is Omar Abasad. It's 4:58 p.m., December 4th, 2023, 25 Bamberg Circle in Toronto. So I am going to talk very briefly about the tweets that I posted on my Twitter account, ROSHINI911. So I posted some ECGs, some very large files actually, and this is an app that is connected to a Cardia mobile device, FDA cleared. So what you do is you moisten it, and one finger, these are electrodes too, one finger on one side and the other one anywhere you want on the body. So I mostly use this, but you can put it anywhere else. Like if you're getting pains on the liver or you're getting pains on the spleen, you can put it on and it will show whether that part of the body is tagged with high electricity on RF. It will show in the ECG. So I have posted a lot of files that show the modulation of the electricity on my skin. The electricity is not only on the skin, it penetrates the body. So I'll just give you a little idea of how many there are. So these are the unclassified and the unreadable. So the AI couldn't diagnose these ECGs because they were so unusual. There's deflection. Instead of going up, it goes down. See that? Electrical modulation. It's not a one-time happening. It's been happening for years. So I got this device back in 2020, and these files, there is a shock, unclassified. Okay, so that's the unclassifieds. And this one is an unreadable. Okay, so there's quite a few of those, and I've been getting a lot more recently. So today, I think I got about four of them, and it didn't come up with AFib. It did come up with unreadable, um, and also, as I said, only the first 10 seconds is diagnosed. So if it happens in minute number 3, then you don't get a diagnosis. So this is one of the limitations of this device. So the electrical external source of the electrical abnormalities that you're seeing in the ECG seems to be some sort of a bead that is being placed on my body. Unplug detector. No motion. motion. Twenty-one, 22. See, so it goes from 30, 13 with no motion, 7, 8, all the way to 21, 22 when the hand is moving. And the same thing applies for the chest and any other part of the body, because I suspect the way that technology is being used is that on the computer system that is being used to do this, certain points of the body are tagged, and it's tagged at a certain algorithm. So a certain power, a certain level of power, a certain combination of RF and EF for each point in the body, all being run at the same time. Because if I were to put this electrode on any part of the body, you will get a different pattern, and every single part of the body. So, and of course, the strongest signals are on the heart because the heart is being tagged continuously. My heart is tagged. So there's, soldiers are tagged. You call what is it they call it, a dog tag? Well, my heart is tagged to be tracked and to be tortured. So a combination of algorithms working both on the heart and the lungs will manipulate and control your oxygen level and your energy level, because if your oxygen level is low, then obviously your energy level is low. If your heart is not working properly, then the blood is going to back up in your system. You're going to have fluid retention, and you're going to be in a constant state of heart failure, which is, so last night was really bad. I was looking at the oxygen vial, and the oximeter was alarming constantly. So there's a lot of fluid buildup in my body today. So on these bad days, and it shows in the graphs in the oximeter, um, and it shows the tachycardia shows the shifts shows very clearly in the graph, in the sleep graph. You could see where somebody's logged on and the heart rate is going up and down, up and down, up and down as the power level is increase and decrease in this algorithmic fashion to give a certain result. So this is part of the experiment that's going on, and they're refining it. But I think it's way beyond refining. I think, my personal opinion, the refining has been done. And my personal opinion, I think any disease could be used as a cover. Any disease, not only COVID, but any disease can be used as a cover to use this technology to torture, to contain, to track, to disable, to rape, to violate, um, pretty much anything that you want, because it's a manipulation of internal organs. And maybe they're still refining how to do certain organs. But definitely they can fail it. I mean, if you increase the RF on that organ, then you're microwaving it, you're burning it. So yeah, it's going to fail. So my heart, for instance, if it's not heart failure, it is still a creation of scars. Because once the heart is inflamed and it heals, then you have scar tissue, I'm assuming, like any other organ and any other tissue. So you can pretty much um, cause heart failure by constantly inflaming the heart, right? Causing scar tissue. Plaques, of course, will develop because the heart is not pumping properly, and blood is going to back up. I have two valves that are not working properly, so you're going to have a lot of backflow, and the backflow um, will cause plaques. If the lungs are flooded, if the heart is flooded, then plaques, right? And if not huge plaques, then definitely a lot of small ones, which will cause the lymph to be swollen, and so you'll have swollen ankles and swollen fingers, and so on. So on nights that are really bad and they turn up the power and several people are logged on, Then the next day I get up with all the symptoms of heart failure, which I went to the doctor to. I went to the doctor for, and and two times I went with all the symptoms of heart failure, and of course there was no diagnosis because the doctors know exactly what is being done. Because if you're a target and you're being experimented with, you're isolated and everybody knows what's going on with you. It's public information. That's the only way you can run an experiment is publicly. Everybody has to have this file about you, and everybody has to know what is being done to you. So that includes the doctors. So the doctors are infiltrated. And if you can run on Omar Rabasa, then of course you can run on anybody anywhere else in the world. All you have to do is track your oxygen, track your sleep pattern, take your ECGs, and you will find out whether you're a target. If you find that there are times in the night that your oxygen is going up and down, up and down, up and down, then there is a very good chance that somebody's accessing you remotely, and they don't need a chip to do it. It's not necessary to have a chip. They can just image you. And again, these condominium setups and high rises, they're perfect settings to do this because someone could be living above you and have this imaging, the system set up on you and hit you all night, which is exactly what's going on here. I get hit from all different sides because I'm in a cage, basically, top, bottom, sideways. Um, you can aim the beam from anywhere around the unit. And my unit is not the only unit that's set up. The entire building is set up this way. How do I know? Because I get hit. The signals hit my body anywhere in the building. The entire building. So the entire building is set up. So, and of course, I get hit on the bus. I get hit on the train. In the subway, which is underground, of course, and has Wi-Fi. I get hit on the GO train, on the surface provincial trains. So it's all over. Basically, I went to Niagara Falls. I was hit there. I'm trapped. Um, I Where else did I go? Did I go out of the city this summer? Other than Niagara Falls, no. But definitely, I'll be taking the data when I get out of the city or get out of the country, and see how these signals um, are shaping up around the world. So anyway, the signals and what I'm talking about here is just one aspect of the targeting. The other aspect is the physical gang stalking. So and it's ongoing. So I'm being reframed. I was framed before, got pulled out under the Mental Health Act. I was framed by two Muslim families, and the then building superintendent had the contract on me, subcontracted it to two Muslim families, and they set me up because board decided that it was time to pull me in because he was the manager of the account, and he had the help of these two Muslim families who had, I think, between them had about 6 kids, and the kids were running up and down the corridor and knocking on doors um, and bouncing the basketball on my door and all sorts of things. Walking into my unit with the doors. If I left the door open for 1 second, and if I was going out and I left the door open to get some garbage or whatever, to put in the garbage chute, they would walk into my unit. Anyway, so they lied, of course, and told the cops that I was doing what they were doing to me, and I was knocking on their doors, which was, of course, not true. I was doing the opposite, running from them and avoiding them. However, I tried documenting some of their activities, and when I tried going to the cops, I actually went to the station to show these videos, and they turned it around and tried to section me. So experiments need to be covered. They have the right to lie and do anything, absolutely anything to you. The cops have the right to do anything to you if you are a target. So, but now they can do anything to you, period, right? Because they've been infiltrated. The Toronto police have been infiltrated, and the cops around the world. They are infiltrated by the WEF and this agenda to go global, to put a global government in. So they are infiltrated by the agencies that these groups have employed to force this agenda through. So they're using covert technology, they're using covert um, methods, psychological operations, and so on. And yeah, they will actually kill you if they can't shut you up. Absolutely, they will kill you. So we live in a time, unfortunately, that our lives are very cheap. Like life is cheap these days. I mean, if you can have a situation where um, where you can put a group of people in a densely populated area and just drop bombs on them and just kill kids and women without conscience, um, then life is cheap. Life is very cheap right now. So we live in a very deteriorated world, degraded world. Um, and the only way to survive it is to expose what's going on. Because not everybody are infiltrated, and not everybody um, is going along with the agenda. So you need to speak up. You can't be intimidated into silence. You need to speak up. So the gang stalking, and this is ongoing, and I was framed before, and I'm being reframed over and over again. So I heard the black team. So they go in teams. So um, the contract on me could be distributed, and they could have 7 or 10 or 20 teams working, and one is the manager. So I heard the blacks have the managing duty. So yesterday, as an example of how you can be framed, I was on a bus and this black guy came from behind the bus, and the bus was not crowded at all. There's a lot of empty seats. So he shoved my knapsack very roughly, and he passed me, and he sat on the seat behind me. And of course, it'll get your attention. So I looked back to see who it was that had shoved me, and he looked at me with a strange look on his face. And I was in the back exit, and I wanted to go through the front exit because I only had about 5 stops to go. Um, so the bus driver could see what he was doing. So as soon as I started walking towards the front exit, he stood up, and he was walking behind me. And I felt really, really uncomfortable. So I turned back and I went through the back door, and he exited through the front. And he got off the bus, and he kept on walking in a different direction from where from which I was going. I was headed um, in the opposite direction. So he wasn't stalking me at that point. So I went to the bank, across the street, went to the mall, and I was walking in front of the stores, not in the parking lot, but on the pavement outside the store, towards the liquor store. I was going to get some wine, and as I passed one of the stores, he came from the parking lot, and it was about 5:30, so it was getting darker. And he passed in front of me, and he shouted, "Hey, boss!" He was alone, so I'm not sure who he was talking to, and he did that very loudly, and of course got my attention, and that's how I recognized that it was him. So he went past, and he went into the store, and he kept looking back at me. So I ignored him, kept on walking, went to the store, got my wine, walked back, because I had to walk back to get to the bus stop. So took the same route back, and he was standing outside the grocery store that sometimes I go into. Um, and again, he was muttering something as I passed, again to get attention. So 3 times he did actions to get my attention. So this is how I know that he's tracking. He was tracking me. So for the black team, um, this is how you're monitored on a physical level. So the signals is one level, and you're physically stalked as well. So one of the reasons you are stalked is um, the teams send out their spies and they look at everything you do and listen to everything you say. And because you're hooked up to the system, which is a police run system, they can actually call and red alert you, orange alert you to get the power turned up on you. So I was in Walmart and somebody red alerted me, and my heart rate, right now it's 75, dropped to 48. So I put the camera on because I could feel it on my body. I could feel my heart, the palpitation. I could feel the drop. So I stopped and I took out my camera and I placed it on the oximeter. And while I was doing that, it went from 48 to 102. Maybe about 15 or 20 seconds. So, and this is what I see all the time. I mean, this has been happening for years when I look at the files. So this is when you're red alerted and your chest is hit. So anywhere there is Wi-Fi, they could locate you and direct these signals to you. How exactly it's done? That's a good question. But definitely, just like the signals could be directed to your phone, it could be directed into your body. Same idea, right? So if you're chipped, then of course your phone has a chip. If you're chipped, then this is very easy. So, am I chipped? No, there's a very good chance that the answer to that question could be yes. Do you need a chip for this to work? The answer is no. They can load up your biometric like a retinal scan because it's unique to you and the electromagnetic signature of your heart, and load it up to the satellite and follow you that way. So you know you don't need a chip. Uh, but a chip probably has benefits. So yeah, so this is the whole targeting program. So on different levels, it's done on different levels. And maybe I shouldn't say the whole program. Maybe I should say only 2 aspects of it. I mean, there is all sorts of other ways to they target people. I am vandalized all the time. My car is vandalized. Um, my relationships are vandalized. I'm isolated. My family is taking part in this targeting, and because the cops are running it, so they make it feel they made the family think that it's okay because the cops are doing it. Well, it's illegal activity, it's criminal activity. You're isolated and you're targeted and you're violated and they're trying to dehumanize. Well, all that could happen only if you internalize what they're doing to you. If you know for a fact that you're a target and they're doing this shit to you, then you're not going to internalize what if they shout, whatever they shout at you, you're not going to internalize it because you know it's a program. It's an agenda that they're following. It's a program. So it's not what you really are or what you really um, it doesn't reflect what you really did or really said. It reflects the agenda that's run through. It reflects the program. It reflects what it is they're trying to accomplish. So if they shout at you, like they're constantly calling me a whore because they're selling me, so they have to paint me that way. And it's not internalized because it's not true. And I'm exposing what they're doing. It's always going along with the agenda, and apparently, if you do go along with the agenda, you make a lot of money because doors are open for you. If I went along with the agenda, I wouldn't be talking about this. So obviously, I'm not going along with the agenda. So Could you be killed? Well, of course you could be killed. Could I be killed? Yes, I could be killed. Could you be killed? Of course you could be killed, because this is a worldwide infrastructure. It's more concentrated in cities, but definitely it's all over the world. So what could happen to Omar Rabasad could happen to you. If you choose to take part in the targeting program against Omar Rabasad, what you're really doing is validating a system that they're going to turn on you and your children and your children's children. So you make that choice. I've made mine. I've decided that I'm not going to be part of the program. I decided that I am not going to be part of the New World Order. Um, so that's my choice. You make yours. If you want to join it, you go ahead and join it. However, be prepared to to pay back Satan, because the New World Order is satanic. And like any other deals that you make with Satan, Satan exacts its price. So you make a deal, you do certain things, and you make money, and you're rich, and you're popular, and you're successful. And then when Satan comes back to ask for his pay, he takes everything back, but he takes more than what he gives you. He takes your soul. So be careful what your choice is. Talk to you another time.